Okay, all right. So where we are going to get it?
From
From the business team.
client.
From the business team. Okay. From the business team. Okay. What else?
Jira, some management console.
Okay.
No, no,
So Jira management tool
no,
or
no.
Mhm.
I think we will discuss and project managers will discuss with partners. So then it will come to the PPM, means project planner management team. So
Mhm.
then they will discuss internally. Then they will allocate to. So they will set up a demo with the team members to discuss one time. So what is the requirement they're thinking? So based on that, we will create a plan. I think.
Okay.
Requirement is from the clients.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? From the business team. Okay. So let me turn on my.
But we never know. We are, maybe we are in between, we join in the project, or if we are starting the project, there might be a clients and all the things might be. If we are in between the project, how can we get it from clients or something like?
Even see, even if
Based on
you
the
are okay, gone. So
Yeah.
no, yeah.
No, general question. That's it.
Okay. So what else? Clients, internal stakeholders, Jira product management from the business team. Okay. So try to understand. Okay. Yeah. Some part of this thing is correct. Okay. Which means that first of all, client is going to discuss, hey, I need this particular requirement. So they will try to tell you the functional stuff. Okay. Saying that, hey, I need this particular requirement, or I want to build this particular app or something. So to fulfill this particular, uh, or to give some user accessibility, or to improve the process or something like that. Okay, so they are going to discuss about the functional stuff. And these, okay, so what about this particular guy? So I'm typing architect. What is this particular guy is going to do? So saying that mule architect, just assume that. So what is the responsibility of this particular guy? I
He
know
plans
where,
the
yeah, go on, sorry.
he's the one who plans the development and design or the flow of work that
Okay, so he is going
that
to
should be followed
design.
by the team.
Mhm. Okay, so he is going to design, and he is going to formulate to what needs to be developed. Okay, so if I am trying to join an organization as a MuleSoft developer, so my first contact is always like your mule architect. Okay, or he is going to get you that stuff, what needs to be developed. Okay, what API needs to be created. Okay, so that particular requirement you will get it from mule architect. Okay, but mule architect, where he is going to get it is all these kind of things, clients. Okay, from the business team, he is going to get that particular stuff, and he is going to formulate into one specific set of requirement. Hey, try to build this particular API. The API name is something like this. Hey, and experience API name should be something like this. This is the data mapping sheet. These are the fields that we need to develop. Okay, so we need to pass it from one particular thing to the other system, right? So coming to the API, so API will have you know general terms. API is nothing but we are creating an integration between which systems? Two systems or three systems?
More than two.
More than more than two. This is the correct one. Okay, so it might be three or four, but at least there will be something like two systems. Okay, the worst case scenario, there will be one-to-one integration is also there. So that is more or less internal process, but we are not talking about it. But here we are trying to do an integration between two different systems, which means that we are passing some data from one particular system to the other system. Okay, so here what is these two systems? Okay, which means that which two systems are interacting in this particular integration. Okay, what kind of data we are trying to pass it, what kind of fields we are trying to pass it, what kind of validations that we need to do it. So all these things are formulated into a proper requirement by your mule architect. Whenever you guys got a question, hey, where you will get the requirement or who is going to give the requirement, so you just need to say, hey, the business team or the internal stakeholders are going to discuss the requirement with my mule architect, and he is going to define what experience layers we need to have, what system layers we need to have, and what is the system or what is the API that we need to create between two systems. He is going to define it, and he is going to give me a one document. What is that particular document that he is going to give it? Anyone?
Design document.
Design document. Okay.
Structural
So
document.
the keyword will be there. Something.
high level document.
Technical specification document.
Architectural document.
Architectural document. Okay. So don't call it like that. See, for
Functional
this particular.
requirement.
Okay. So
require-
functional. So that one
requirement
is.
of- No,
Okay. Sorry. Functional design document is given to mule architect to understand what is that particular business need. Okay, so
Okay.
that is also good. Okay, so let me put it this way. Okay, so the requirements comes to the architect first. Okay, and he is going to get it from business team. From the business team, we thought, right? So they are going to give that functional design document. Okay, so that is useful for architect to understand, hey, why this particular integration is required. So what is the main purpose of this particular integration? If we do this particular integration, what is the business, criteria that we are applying, or what is the value added to this particular client? So he is going to understand. Okay, or he is going to propose that particular integration also sometimes, but at least he is going to understand from the functional design document. Okay, so this is for, so this particular uh, training is dedicated for your developers as well as who is actually trying for architects also. They will get some context. Okay, so just but mostly I will try to concentrate on the developer aspects because you guys are going to join any organization as a developer. Okay, so he is going to discuss with the business team or the calls. Okay, and he is going to get what needs to be declared using a functional design document. Okay, and this particular Jira and all about, so we'll try to take it. Okay, internal stakeholders or the calls or meetings. Okay, so he's going to understand, hey, what is this particular integration? Okay, so stakeholders is nothing but clients. Yes. Okay, so he's going to get these information and he is going to formulate into a proper document. Okay, this is our source of truth. Architectural document is your source of truth. Okay, to develop an API. Okay, so this is my source of truth. Okay, API to develop architectural document is my source of. What is there in architectural document? So if you guys will tell me, so what might be there in architectural document? So someone is saying design document, someone is saying, hey, it might be some other thing, some other document name. All right. But what is there in architectural? ఏముంటుందండి జనరల్ ఏముండొచ్చు
Use cases.
architectural document? Use cases. Okay.
Overview of the design.
Yeah, exactly. The overview of the design. Okay. So let me try to share or let me show up one architectural document so that you will at least get some context. Hey, This is what we are going to get. Okay, so let me open an architectural document. So, okay, this particular project we are trying to deal with it. So I'm just trying to open this particular. Okay, so we are dealing with Cygnus. Okay, so it will have which systems that we are going to interact. Okay, so project name and so Jira ID. So we will try to understand what is this particular Jira ID. Okay, whenever we are discussing about the project management, we are going to get this particular Jira. Okay, and so there is some other thing. Okay, what needs to be there? Okay, or what key concepts that we need to understand? Okay, so they will try to define it. Okay, so we are not we are going to go through this in depth, but at least this particular moment of time, so we are going to understand this particular thing. Okay, so the high level architectural documents. So tell me, so what it is actually giving you some insight. So just look at this thing at a bare eye. So tell me what you guys are able to understand.
From where we are getting data and where we have to transfer the data
Mhm.
and in
Yeah.
between.
We need to make integration
From
with
Salesforce to
and
Oracle. Yeah.
Mhm. So this is something like wait, I think Ravi is on mute, please. Okay,
Yes.
so uh, this is okay. This will give you some insight. Okay, the moment I'm looking at this particular document, so I can understand. Hey, so whatever the project I'm just trying to work on it, so I do have different systems. Okay, different Salesforce I do have, mobility I do have. Okay, so some other Oracle Service Cloud, Field Service Cloud. So these are the systems that I'm going to interact with. Okay, which means that I need to create some integrations between these particular systems, which means that, hey, Salesforce will have some data, so it needs to pass it to some other system. Okay, so what we call these things are external systems. Okay, so you're trying to create an integration between two different external systems. Okay, so this is what you will try to get it whenever you're into projects. So you need to ask, hey, can you give me some architectural document so that I can get some insight? So this is a high level architectural document, which means that it will tell you what are the systems it will have. Okay, and what are the integrations that we need to pass it. Or sometimes they will not specify all these integrations. At least they will try to specify what are the external systems that you will have, so that you at least you will get some insight. Hey, between these systems, I need to create some integration. So whenever architect is coming to you, hey, create an integration. So most of the time, so he will try to tell the external systems that are defined in high level architectural view. Okay, so you are going to create an API between these two systems. Okay, clear with this thing?
I mean, we can call it as a source and target systems.
Yeah, source and target system. Okay, so we will try to take it keywords one by one, but at least at this particular moment of time, so these are external systems and these are act as source and target.
Okay, got it.
Okay, fine. So let me open the other perspective. Tell me, so if you are looking at this particular view, so what you are going to do?
following API-led connectivity.
We are following API-led connectivity, pretty much good. Okay, what else? Can I understand what is my target system and what is my source systems?
Yes.
Okay, so what about these top level systems?
Yeah, this
Are
is
we calling it as source systems or target systems?
Target
Target.
system.
Target systems.
Top level.
Target system.
Mhm.
Can system target.
Top level ones. Okay. So this is the issue, guys. Okay. See, the top level, they are trying to interact with experience APIs. Okay. So what we call it as source systems. Okay. Why we are calling source? Hey, Amar, so the data is not there. So they are seeking the information. So why we are calling source? Because the data is resided in the lower level systems, right? So we need to call them as, source systems. Why we are calling the top level things as source systems? Okay. Because in your mule perspective, what you need to understand is these particular systems are triggering the event, which means that this particular guy, the mobility system, wants some data from this particular, OFS, let us say. So he is going to trigger that particular event. Okay. So that's why what we call it as this is the source system and this is my target system. Okay. So this guy wants to target this particular system to get the data. Okay. Just this is a get perspective. Let us say we are trying to push some data to some other system. So this is a source system. It is trying to push it back to this particular target system. So this particular guy is targeting this particular system to push some data. So the top level things or whatever the external systems that are interacting with experience API is nothing but our source systems. Okay. You are having a target systems at lower level. So which is going to interact with your system layers. Okay. So this is, see, the generalized meaning, what we have is different inside your node. Okay. So who is actually triggering the event? What we call it as your source systems. So the event is sourced from the source systems. It will interact with your experience APIs. Okay. So this particular layers, hey, why we need to have experience layers? Why we need to have system layers? Okay. Why we need to have this particular layer, process layers? Okay. So we need to understand bit by bit, but at least you guys need to understand, hey, what is a source system and what is a target system. Let us say, if I am trying to say in my architectural document, okay, let me put it this way. If you are not talking, just go on mute. Okay. All right.
Can you please repeat again?
Just a minute. Okay, so let us try to understand this. Raviteza, go on mute.
Yes.
Please. Too much of noise. Okay, fine. So I do have this particular thing. Okay, so we are trying to, post some data between this particular system to this particular system. Okay, so what will be there? What is my target system? What is my source system? What is my target and what is my source?
Source is SMDC.
Source is SFTC.
SFTC. Target is OSVC.
Target is OSVC. So you are simply saying that, hey, we are posting it. So target is this particular thing and source is this particular thing.
In the
Okay.
consumer, they mention as OSVC means. So
Mhm.
the
Yeah, don't
That is
go with
the
this particular thing. Okay.
source.
So I'm just giving this particular perspective. Don't take this particular thing. Okay. So
okay.
here it is interacting with experience API, which means that it is triggering the event to this particular experience layer. So this is what my source. This is what my target. Okay. Let us try to see the other API. Just a moment. We were looking at incident data, get account information. Yeah, this one I needed. Just showing guys. Not screen share slide. Yeah. Okay. So earlier we used to have a post method. Now I am trying to look at it, a get method. Now tell me, so what is my source and what is my targets?
Source is SFDC and mobility must be the target
No.
we are fetching from.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Source is
Source
mobility.
is mobility and
Target is
destination
SFDs.
associate.
Okay, so the other way, okay, but try to understand this again. Okay, so whenever any external system or any system that is interacting with your experience API, which means that it is triggering an event. So this is my source system. This is my target system. Okay, so whether you're getting it or you're posting it, it doesn't matter. So whoever is interacting with your experience layer, that is nothing but your source system. Okay, so which is so we are trying to get the data from this particular thing. So we are targeting this particular thing. So we are trying to get the data. Okay, so you just need to understand this way. So the generalized understanding will not apply to your mu. Okay, so the event trigger mechanism that we are trying to understand here. So the event initiator, what we call it as the source system, and the other system we will call it as target. Okay, so your experience APIs, whenever an external system is interacting, so this is what we call it as a source system always. Okay, so you just need to understand that. So there is too much of confusion here, but still, once we have formulate these particular designs into a proper APIs, you guys are going to get it. Okay, so just trust me. Like, so yeah, to be frank, even I was in a confusion state initial days. Like, hey, I'm just trying to get some data from some system. So it is my source system. So I thought of like, but here you just need to understand the event trigger mechanism. Okay, so who is initiating that particular event? So tell me, so why these particular events? Why we are discussing about events? What is the use of this particular events whenever we are discussing about mu? అసలు ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఈవెంట్స్ అని చెప్తున్నాను కదండి, అసలు దేనికి యూజ్ చేస్తాం మనం ఈవెంట్స్? అసలు ఈవెంట్ డ్రివెన్ మెకానిజం అని కూడా అంటారు కదా మ్యూల్ని. అసలు ఏంటి ఈ స్టోరీ ఏంటి?
ఈ స్లైడ్ కొంచెం మళ్ళీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారా? నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు అసలు.
ఓకే, సో
Okay.
okay, so here we are just trying to understand. So we know what is our external systems. On previous slides, we have seen different systems. Okay, in this particular thing, so I'm just trying to say what is my source systems and what is my target system at project level. Okay, so any external system which is interacting with the experience layer, we call it as a source system. Any external system which is interacting with my system layer, that is what I call it as target system. This is the blind. Okay, or the other way around is whoever is initiating the request. Okay, so this particular guy wants some data, or this particular guy wants to publish some data. What it will try to do, it will try to interact with the experience. Okay, that is what we call it as source system. The other system, what we call it as the lower level, so we call it as target system. Okay, system APIs, target systems. Experience APIs, source systems. That's it. Okay, so once we are trying to formulate into a proper you know um proper concepts or proper APIs, you guys are going to get it. Hey, what is my source system? What is my target system? At least at this particular moment of time, experience APIs will be interact by your source systems, or which is triggering an event. Okay, so just let me put it this way also. Okay, so we are building some API inside our MuleSoft. Okay, so don't take it as the complete theoretical part is. Okay, so because this is the fundamental things that you need to understand whenever you are going to projects. Okay, so this is the base, and if this thing is not properly constructed inside your minds, you will have some confusion. Okay, but at least like we need to understand, hey, why we are going with API led architecture, why experience APIs, all these things we need to understand. Okay, no, so I'm just trying to understand architectural document, and but at least tell me. So we created some API. Okay, we created an application inside our MuleSoft. Okay, so let us say this is a RESTful API. Let us say you guys have something like uh, employee get information. Okay, so this is a get operation. You created this thing. Okay, in real time, or when you complete this particular thing, how to invoke this particular API. So which tool we are going to use it? Which tool? Postman to interact this particular API. So you are going to use a Postman. Okay, fine. So let me have a post. Okay, so this is for your internal test. Okay, so you guys are using Postman to trigger this particular API. You will get a response back. Okay, so inside this particular API, you will try to connect with the database or some other system that I'm not worried about. Now, so this particular API, once you developed it, who is going to use it? You develop something, but who is going to use it?
Client.
End user.
End user, in technical terms, who is going to use it?
Consumer.
Consumer.
You can say.
Okay, or source system is going to use it, or target system is going to use it?
Target system.
Target.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Source system is going to.
So this particular thing is good. Okay, so let us put it this way. So your experience API will be called, or your system API is going to call?
Experience API.
Experience. means
Experience API is going to call. Okay, so let us say this is an experience API. Okay, this is an experience API. Just a moment. So someone is going to call this particular experience API. Okay, so in your integration, you are saying that this is a mobility experience API. So they are not going to use Postman, guys. Okay, so what they will try to do inside their mobile app, they are going to call this particular API. Okay, just a moment. So you're trying to search for an employee. So the moment you're typing in, or you're trying to click on some page or some button, what they will try to do, they will try to initiate a call to this particular experience API. So this particular experience API is going to get some data from external system, the other system, and it will try to pass it back to this particular system. So it is not like your even the other application teams or mobility application team, they will not use Postman to call your API. They are going to use that particular API, and they are going to write down inside your application, which means that this particular mobile application, are we building it? As a MuleSoft developer, are you building this particular mobility app?
No.
No,
No.
we'll
No.
create APIs.
Okay, so make sure that
Only create APIs and develop.
we are just trying to create APIs. Okay, we are not building UIs. Okay, this is the question that I'm going to ask. So whenever a person is somewhat confused, so I will try to ask, hey, which UI we are building in MuleSoft? Okay, they will try to tell, hey, websites, mobile apps. No, we are not building it anything inside your MuleSoft. So we are just trying to build data services or APIs, which is going to provide the data between two different systems. Okay, make sure that you understand this thing. So we are not building any UI. So this is what you need to do. Okay, not building any UI or user interface or websites or mobile apps. We are not building it. Okay, what we are building? Okay, we are constructing data APIs. Okay, between two different systems. Okay, and those two different systems are nothing but your source and target systems. Okay, your source system is always interacts with your experience layers. Okay, that one you need to understand. And that particular process, how to construct this particular experience APIs, in which scenarios we are going with process APIs, all those things we will try to see it one by one, but at least this high level architectural document is going to give you some insight about what is your source and target systems, external applications, or different keywords will be there, but at least this will try to give you what are your external systems inside your project. Okay, and this level of documentation will give you, so what is your source systems and what is your target systems. Okay, and once if he is asking, hey, your architect is asking, hey, build some API between mobility to SFDC or SFDC to SAP or something like that, he is going to give you this particular document. So this is a low level design document, or so it is talking about one particular API. Okay, so that particular API is nothing but your your source system and your target system. Okay, so your source system will be interacting with your experience API, and you will have a target system which is interacting by your system API. Okay, so we are going to create a API-led architecture. So you will have experience APIs, you will have system APIs. Without these experience layers or system layers or process layers, we will not have any app, any project. Okay, you need to tell your story, your API story, using API-led architecture only. Okay, so tell me about why we are going with API-led architecture. Okay, so we know we have this particular architectural document, so we are just trying to create this particular APIs. Okay, now tell me why we are going with API architecture or API-led architecture. So why we need to create this particular project and this particular project? Why not we create all the things into one particular project? What is the purpose of your API-led architecture?
In future, if requirement is changed, source is changed, right? We can simply replace the particular API.
For
That's
upgrading
much good.
and
Go on.
when we need to upgrade a system, we need not to disrupt whole process. Wherever we need to upgrade, we can push that code to
Okay.
it.
Alright, so let us try to see this way. This moment. So the stories. Just a
And
moment, guys. Interesting. Today, SFTC is trying to get some posting some organization data to some system like voice visit system. Okay, so Oracle Service Cloud. Tomorrow, they are saying that, hey, we are migrating Oracle Service Cloud to some other system. Okay, so let us say SAP system, we are trying to move it all our organization information. Okay, so if that is the case, I don't require to construct this particular thing. What I need to do, I just need to remove this particular piece. Okay, I need to construct one more system API. I just need to plug it in. Okay, which means that you're separating your logs into different layers, which means that one system is decommissioning, so you don't require to build everything from scratch, but some part of it you will try to build. Okay. Now tell me, so which layer will have what? So ఏ లేయర్ లో ఏది ఉంటుంది అంటే so which means that let us take it experience layer, what we will have inside our experience layers. At least you guys will prepare for interviews, right? So even that answer is fine for me. So what we will try to do in the experience layers?
The rapid system API will be in experience layer.
Wrapper of what?
Wrapper of system API.
Okay.
The modified API, the modified
No
system
systems
API.
like some Salesforce, yes, though we can all call as an experience layers.
Let us take it. So this will be an interview. Okay. So I'm saying that you're explaining me experience layers and system layers or something like that. Okay. I'm asking you, hey, what is experience layer? So tell me a straight answer. What is an experience layer? What we will try to do it inside experience layers.
Experience layer is nothing but just we will get the output. Output means passing the parameters in that experience layer, then we can get the output. That's all.
We are trying to consume our APIs, right? We can call it as an experience layers.
Okay. So let us try to understand the real use case of your experience. Okay. So just assume that my process layer or my system API, or just assume that your process layer. Okay. So it is giving the data as application JSON. Okay. But my experience layer, so my external system or my source system is having a capability of getting the data using application XML. Okay. But my process API is giving application JSON data. Okay. That particular transformation, we will try to do it inside your experience. The transformation, which is very specific to my external system or my source system, that particular transformation, we will try to do it inside your experience. Okay. So just assume that one more scenario. My process layer is giving employee information, something like 20 different fields. Okay. But my the external system who is actually getting needs this particular data, he wants only 10 fields. Okay. So that particular extraction is what we are going to do it inside your experience layer. You can take it as the transformation logic, we are going to write it inside your experience layers. Okay. This is what you need to understand. Okay. It is not like, wrapper or something like that. A very specific scenario or very specific business requirement or business need, we are separating into separate layers. Okay. So we are trying to put all the transformation logics inside your experience layer. What about process layer? We are saying process layer, right? So what we will try to do it inside your process layer. Some keyword will be there. What is
We
that?
implement business logic.
Business logic. Okay. I mean, business logic in the sense, what kind of business logic we are trying to do?
The actual requirement we are implementing that one.
Your orchestration or business validations. Okay. So everything we will try to do it inside your process APIs. Okay. So orchestration, what about orchestration? What do you mean by orchestration? So whenever you're calling in two different systems, okay, so you want some employee information. Even in that employee information, what you need is the salary structure or something. Okay. So or whoever is HR. So I just need to extract that particular data, which means that I need to call two different systems. One is employee information is there in the database system. The HR information is there in Oracle HCM or some other system. So I want to call these two different systems and extract that particular data, and I need to consolidate it or construct it. Okay, so that kind of construction, we will do it inside your process layers. Okay, so here we have process layer. What about system layer? Why we are using system layer? What is the use of system layer?
Fetching the data from database.
Yeah, so connectivity part. Okay, so the connectivity part, we will try to write it down inside your system layer, which means that any system that I'm trying to interact, I will try to do it inside your system layer. Okay, only the connectivity part, we will try to do it inside your system layer. Hey, so someone is asking you this particular question. Hey, explain about API-led architecture. So you need to tell this story. Hey, API-led architecture is something like we are trying to use it to for the purpose of reusability and to separate the overall business logic into different layers. So we will try to use a connectivity layer inside my system APIs. Any orchestration or business validations, we will try to do it inside your process layer. And any transformation logic very specific to my source system, we will try to write it inside your experience layer. So you need to tell this particular. Okay, so if you are telling this particular way, so they are going to understand, hey, this particular guy has worked on something. Okay, so we will try to construct these APIs, okay, whatever this particular API, using this particular architecture. Okay, so it may not require process layers always. We will have experience layer, system layer also, but we will try to understand which scenarios we are going to eliminate the particular process layer. Okay, now tell me this, by looking at this particular document, what kind of projects I need to create it? We are just creating mules of projects, right? So what is my system API? System API name. No, you're not getting this
Connection
particular
part
thing?
of the connection part to the OSPC DB.
Okay, so I'm just asking what we are writing inside system API, but what I'm asking is, what is my system API name? By looking at this particular thing, this particular document, if I'm trying to give it to you, what is my system API? What is my experience API?
SA001.
SA1001 is my system API, guys.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this one SCA. Okay, so it is telling you, hey, this is a system API. Okay, what about this thing?
Experience API.
Experience.
This is an experience API. Okay, the moment you need to understand this particular low-level design document, you need to understand, hey, they are asking about a system API. I need to create a project with this particular name. Okay, so I need to create an experience API with this particular name. Okay, you need to understand whether these particular projects are already created. So what you need to do, you need to add this particular new resource inside your RAM. Okay, so we need to first construct our design center. Okay, RAML, we need to develop it, and then we need to go with our actual implementation. Okay, so I can understand, hey, this whole layers, I need to create a system API, experience API. So where exactly we are trying to build our RAM? So inside your studio or somewhere else?
Point platform.
Anything
Any
Platform.
platform we are going to build the
The API
design center.
specification.
Okay, so why we need to design first? Why not like development?
So one question in between. So if the architect or someone give the high level document, we need to convert into low level document, or they will
No,
convert into
not at
low
all.
level.
They will try to convert. Okay, so you are a developer, you don't require to work on designs. Okay, so most of the time, so you will try to get a low level design documents. I mean, so if the architect is too lazy, they are not going to create the high level, but at least, so the people who are enthusiastic or they are bound to some principles, they will try to create your high level and low level design documents. But you guys need to understand, like low level design documents, you will not construct it or you will not design it, the sequence. Okay, so this is your architect responsibility to give this particular low level document. Okay, so from this particular thing, so we are trying to create this particular API. So I need to start with my design center. Okay, so why design center? Why not the development? So we'll try to see it, but at least let us try to create some setups in the sense like I'm just trying to create a new any point platform so that at least we will try to use it for our entire class. Okay. Just a moment. Let me.
Here, one question, Adam.
Go on.
In studio also we have a RAML window. No, there also we can design our API from scratch.
Yeah, we can do it. I mean, so not RAML window. So basically, we can add a RAML file inside your studio also. But the thing is, if you're building your RAML inside your local system, so anyone is going to see that particular thing.
No.
Okay, so as an architect, let's say I'm an architect, so I have given this particular requirement saying that, hey, Mahisa, create this particular SFDC to OSPC API. So which means that you just need to create some organizations back to OSPC. So you will start with system API or experience API. So maybe, okay. I want to see that particular thing. So every time I want to see the progress or I want to see how you're doing. So I don't require to, ping you saying that, hey, Mahisa, where is this particular thing? Okay. If you are constructing your RAML inside your design center, which is in any point platform, I can directly go to over there and I can see it. Okay. And we will try to see what is the benefit of creating inside design center and why we are going to publish it to exchange. All these concepts we will try to see one by one. Okay. But at least your perception. So you will not create anything inside your AnyPoint studio rather than you will try to create inside your AnyPoint platform. So it will have a better visibility to the other people, okay, who wants to see it. So just assume that you're building a RAML for system API. Based upon your system API RAML, experience API guy needs to work on it. He needs to understand what is the request, what is the response. He will not ask you. Okay, he will directly go to exchange and he will try to see, hey, what is request, what is response, what Mahisa's system API is expecting. So he is going to understand through exchange. Okay, this is the shortest way of answer your question, but trust me, so we'll try to discuss each and every aspect. Okay, so try to get me something where I need to go now. I want to design some RAML. So where I need to start?
To go to any point platform.
Any point platform. Okay. So
Then design center you can select it.
Okay. So any point platform. So just a moment, sign up. Okay. So all right. So let me fill it up. Okay. Let us put the online training 4. Okay. Okay, so I'm just trying to create this particular thing. Okay, create an account, but tell me, so in your real-time projects, are you going to sign up this particular thing?
No, they will allocate with our IDs.
Okay, so at least make sure that these things are pretty much clear. Okay, you don't require to create an profile by using a normal sign-up process. Okay, your platform team is going to create your profile and they will try to share your credentials. Okay, so or else if there is a identity management system, so what they will try to give you is they will try to give you something like, hey, click on this particular thing, your profile will be automatically created. So how it will automatically created? Because you will have your client credentials, right? Client profile. So it will automatically create your profile. So they at least they will try to guide you. But if you're into a proper projects, they will have something like an onboarding document, guys. Okay, so what we call it as Mule developer onboarding document. So what it will have? It will have how to get access to your anypoint platform. They will try to write down steps. Okay, you need to follow that particular steps to get this particular access. Okay, so how to get Git. Okay, so how to get Jira access. All these things we will try to define inside your onboarding document. Okay, but this is very specific to some projects. The other projects will not have this particular document. They will try to guide you through. Okay, but who is your point of contact if you want to get this particular anypoint platform access? Who is going to give it?
Platform team.
Platform team. Okay, so anypoint platform access will be given by anypoint platform team, or you can say platform team, or your some fellows will have a DevOps team, they will call it is, but to be precise, it is a platform team which is going to give your access. Okay, so if they are if you are not pretty much sure, hey, what is who is a platform team, so you can ask your peer or your lead or your architect at least. Okay, so you can get that, but or else the moment you're stepping in, so you can ask, hey, is there any onboarding document so that I can refer that particular document and I can raise my access related stuff. Okay, so this is I created. Okay, so let us try to save it somewhere. Let us try to create one more folder. Okay, for your batch. What is this month? September. So here I'm creating some document so that I can refer later on. My humble request is whenever you're into your projects, try to save your usernames and passwords. You will easily forget those things. Even if you are working on some other technology or anything, so you're migrating to MuleSoft or you're joining to any organization, try to write down or take a paper, okay, or try to write it down. So put it in inside your purse or something like that. Valid. Okay. Why I'm saying is, whenever you are joining any organization, you will have so much of this thing, so much of anxiety. So that anxiety will, force you to forget your passwords. Okay, your usernames you will forget. Okay, so this is my personal experience. Okay, don't score by some other people. So at least you need to understand. Hey, so you can't reset your password like 3 times in a row within 2 days of joining an organization. Okay, try to write it down. So that's okay. So keep it inside your pocket. Okay, so what I have created. So I have created this thing is my anypoint platform credentials, right? Okay, so I can remember my password. At least Google has saved it. That's okay. So this is my anypoint platform credentials. Now tell me, so where I need to start it? I created a new profile, so where I need to go?
You can start your design.
Start designing it. So what is my intent here? So what we are trying to achieve it here?
Create ramels.
So we are creating a ramel to design this particular thing. Okay, so we are trying to design this particular system API. So I need to create a ramel here in my design center. Okay, so let us try to create a new API specification or something else. Which one?
Yes, new API specification.
New API specification, I'm trying to create it. So I need to copy this particular thing. SCA1
Yes.
Go on mute, guys. Okay, so I need to create my system API, something like this. hey, Amar, so this particular thing is saying that hyphen V1, but inside your this thing, you haven't created with a hyphen V1. Okay, I'm just trying to create something like this. Why not version number? Okay, so you don't require to create a API specification with version number. Why? We'll try to see it. What is the issue if we are creating with this one? Okay, so this particular thing will have a plain name. Okay, so let us try to create an API. So this is a system API that we are trying to create it. Okay, so you guys need to tell me, hey, what are the components I need to, or at least this is saying that title. Okay, so this is a system API interacting with what? OSVC system. Okay, so this one I need to write. Now I need to write something like version number. Can we add it? Okay, so here we are trying to add V1. When this particular thing is going to change it to V2? Tell me.
When we upgrade the version, we do any changes and we
Much good. Yeah.
publish.
So whenever we are trying
Any
to
changes happen environment.
someone has given some answer. So can you guys repeat it?
If any changes in the RAML file.
Yeah, any changes in the RAML file, that is where we are trying to change it. But trust me, this particular thing V1 to V2 will be changed only when we are trying to upgrade Mule runtime version. So let us say you guys are, created an API with 4.3. Okay, later point of time, they are trying to upgrade it to 4.4 runtime version. So at that time, they are going to change it to V1 to V2. So this is a major change. There will be something like minor changes also. If we are trying to add it few resources, we are trying to change the lower version. But to be precise, this particular version, we will try to make it as only major versions. Most of the projects, 90% of your projects. Okay, so we will try to have V1 version. Okay, now what else? Description. See, all these elements we will try to add it inside your project space. Okay, so we are not directly writing saying that, hey, this is my organization. No, we'll not write it directly. So we need to define all this particular stuff. Okay, because we are not creating a POCs or we are not learning something which is a fundamental thing or fundamental concepts. So this is what we are trying to create it inside your real-time process. So why we need to construct all these parameters and everything? Because we need to have it in a proper direction. So let us try to open a RAML, a real RAML. So how it looks like. Okay. So at least you will get some idea. So we are almost like 7 minutes ahead, but at least, even if you guys are joining or not joining this particular class, at least you will have some idea. Hey, how we are trying to build a real RAMS. Okay, so in just a moment, let me open this thing. Okay, so is it very low resolution that you guys are looking? Just a moment. Let me change the resolution.
Amar, meanwhile, one doubt.
Yeah,
So, yeah, system and experience API, can we, experience to target system API to source, like our system to target experience API to source, like that, can we use?
I'm not getting your question.
For example, if you are using experience APIs to target, right? So same thing can be used to source. So
No, never. Okay, so your source to target, so your experience APIs to system APIs, we will try to call it. Okay, but you will not expose your system APIs outside the world, or no one is going to call your system APIs. Only your internal APIs are going to call your system API. Okay, make sure that you understand that particular point, because if you are exposing direct system APIs to your external systems, or you are publicly exposing it, so there is no security at all. You will have a client ID, client secret, but it is not the way that we are going to expose. Okay, so any API that you are exposing to the outside world is your experience API. That's it. That particular experience API will be called by any external system. Okay, so if I'm creating a mobility experience API, I will share the resources or that particular client ID, client secret only to mobile application team. No other external system. If I'm trying to create a experience API, okay, so let us try to take it this way. So we are trying to create an experience API for my Salesforce system. Okay, so I will try to create a client ID, client secret for this particular experience API. I will only share it with only SFTC people, not any other people, not any other application teams. Okay, I have mobility team, I have a SFDC team, I have OSPC team. I will not share it to anyone. So I will only share it with SFDC team, saying that, hey, you want organization's data? Call this particular experience API with this client ID, client secret. I'll not expose this particular system API to outside world. Make sure that this is very strict. Okay, so it will have some security compliance. Okay, you should not expose anything outside the world, which is a system API or process API. So you will expose only experience APIs. Okay, so it might be hard for some of the guys, but so this is how we need to do it. Okay, so let us try to see some. We are just trying to look at some of the RAML which we need to develop it. Okay, so we need to develop something like this. This is my main RAML file. We do have two resources here. Okay, and we need to construct resource type. We need to construct types. We need to construct types. Okay, so all this particular metadata we need to add it. So this is how we need to add our metadata. Okay, so this way we are trying to tell, hey, what we have added. Okay, so what API that we are constructing it. So what is resource type? Okay, so what is a resource type? Okay, so your real rammers are something like this. So in our, the basic, whenever we are learning MuleSoft, so we will try to write it down everything here, something like that. Go on mute, please. Okay, so we need to construct our RAML something like this. So we need to create types, we need to create resource types, all these things we need to have it. Okay, so we need to enforce client ID, client secrets that needs to be there in tribes. All these scenarios we need to look at it. Okay, so this is how we are going to construct our first API, not even first API. So every API that we are constructing it, so we need to follow this particular route. Okay, because your all MuleSoft projects will follow the same approach. Okay, so there will be some deviation like 10 to 20%. That is up to your naming convention. That's it. Okay, so now here I have written something like number. I have given it. Okay, they will try to call something like SAPI or PAPI, something like that. So those kind of differences will be there, but most of the time your development construction will be same. Okay, any questions that you guys have?
Yes, I have one question. In general, when we are developing an API or we take up a task of working on an API, what is the approach we use to give an estimate of our work?
Okay, so that, to be precise, yeah, go on.
So in case our API is small or limited to having a few methods being utilized and a small flow where we are just polling the data, in that situation, it would be quick. And following that, in case this API needs to be like, suppose in case there is some larger API where we use other routing mechanisms, and we utilize uh, like deeper connectors. So in that situation, how do we explain that this is the estimate I might be able to complete in this particular time?
Yeah. So to be precise, what you need to understand is, so ideally, so what are the layers that you will? Okay. So is it new or existing? Okay. If it is a new layer or new project that you need to do, so you need to construct all this particular ramel, all this particular messaging, all these strides, all this stuff you need to create it. So at least you need to have something like 2 days of effort if it is a new system. So if it is an existing API, so what you need to do, you just need to add a resource. It will not take too much of time, right? So you need to have something like 5 hours estimation that you need to give it. So this is for your RAML aspect that we are looking at. So there is a estimation matrix that we are trying to follow, but I will tell you in a lighter note. If it is a small API, you need to construct all these layers. Okay, so we will try to give it something like 5 days of it. Okay, if it is a medium API, so which means that there is some orchestration that we need to do it, which means that there should be some existing or APIs that we need to call in the system layers. We will try to give it something like 7 days of it. If it is a too much complex systems, we'll try to give it something like 2 to 3 weeks, which means that it will scatter between 14 to like 21 days. This is the matrix that we are going to follow. So it depends upon whether you are creating a new experience layer or existing system layer that you are going to use. Clear? In a simple
Yes,
terms. Okay.
yes.
You need to
another
I mean, same. Yeah. So whenever you guys are giving an estimation, try to explain it in like the mules of keywords. The moment you are explaining it in mules of keywords, the other person, or if he is a client, so he is going to understand, okay, so there is so much of things that he needs to do it. So let us try to give this particular time. Okay. So trust me, even if we are giving a 5 days of effort, to be precise, it will complete like, in hours. So at least like whenever you are completing it in 4 hours or 5 hours. Okay. So just, I mean, so how much time will it take to create this particular kind of RAM? So hardly 2 hours. Yes. Okay. So more than that, it will not take it. Even if it is small APIs, okay. So it doesn't matter. You guys can complete that particular thing in 1 day, but still we are giving it in another 4 days. You need to make sure that you need to maintain that particular work-life balance, right? So that's why we are trying to give it like, yeah, go on.
Okay, so in case they try to scale it by adding up a set of resources to the team, so in that situation, how things work?
So yeah, so if they are distributing a system layer, if they are giving it to you, okay, saying that hey, you work on system layer and the other person is going to work on experience layer, so then you need to cut it down something like 2 to 3 days. Okay, so 2 days per your system API, something like that. Okay. See, the real issue will happen is when the architect is from technical side or he is already worked as a developer and he came to architect position, he can easily estimate that particular thing. So he is going to give that particular, time estimations. Okay, he will force you to do that. But if your architect is coming from a different technology or he is not a developer savvy for your MuleSoft, then it is a completely a different ballgame altogether.
This
Right?
helps. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. All right. So
And
any
it
other
will
questions,
be,
guys?
May I know
yeah,
the roadmap
Ashish,
of
and it will be very, depends organization to organization. Okay. So for your question in Capgemini, what they will do, they are going to maintain, T-set mechanism. T-set mechanism, right? Like we have small, medium, XL, double XL, 4XL, right? See, depending upon the endpoints, they will give you the time. Okay. If it is one method, only one method. Okay. How much time it will take? Hardly 30 minutes, right? So they will give you 4 hours. If it is 2 endpoints, like maybe 6 hours or 8 hours, 3 hours, 1 day, like this, they will give you. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, may I know the roadmap of this MuleSoft?
See, any technology guys. Okay, so if you're trying to learn it, okay, so someone is saying that hey, this particular technology doesn't have requirements or something. But tell me, so we do have mainframes or something like that. So those things are implemented 20 years back. Still, they do have projects. The only thing is what you need to understand. So last 5 years, we do have too much of requirements in MuleSoft. Okay. So after like 3 to 4 years, what will happen is there are too many members or too many people that are learn MuleSoft. So your competition will be strict. Okay. If MuleSoft organization is not, implementing new features, or it is not giving, so much of, insightful, development for the upcoming releases, definitely the clients will incline to some other ESP. Okay, you still do have any ESP channel. Let us say, I do have a CEO of one company, so I just invested millions of rupees on one particular ESP implementation. I will go with some other ESP within a span of 2 to 3 years? No, it is not true. Like the bare minimum, I will look at it 6 to 7 years if I'm trying to implement an ESP. So even some ESPs or some projects which are running in the older technologies, Oracle, so or something like that. So still it will be there like 15 to 20 years. But the only thing is the market that you will have after 5 years, if the competition is very tough, ideally you will get a lower CTC. Right now, a 5 years guy is getting something like 20 lakhs. Just assume that. So maybe at that time, so the competition is tough. He might get only 18 lakhs or something like that. It doesn't really say that hey, this particular technology will be vanished or something like that. No one is going to spend too much of money on a vanishing technology, or they will try to see the future, right? So it is not like within 2 years or 3 years you will not get any options. No, the competition will be tough. That's okay. You need to look at this aspect in every software technology. Okay, you will have Python, or so a few days back everyone is learning Python. Okay, so the overall market is filled up with too many Python developers. Okay, so the thing is the requirements will come in, but the competition will be a bit tougher. So many people are learning. Okay, but that if you are good at some technology that differentiate you from all the other people guys, okay, you need to understand that. So you just need to learn it, keep on learning it. It doesn't say that hey, I have done some certification, or I have done some a few concepts, I will relax now. No, that is not. So at least you guys will understand. So you're into some other technology, so you are learning Mule. Why? Because you see some the higher cities, you want to switch it to a technology where you need to peacefully work on some days, and you need to enjoy your work-life balance, right? So that is how you need to understand it. So it is not like any technology will not go in vain something like 5 years or 3 years down the line. You will have a tough competition. That's it. But if you are preparing well, it doesn't matter. So you will stand out a chance that if you are unique in your technology, or you learn so much of things in your technology, no one is going to beat you up, right? So you will easily get that particular higher cities. Any other question? Anything? No.
If this question is not much, maybe I know I actually.
That's okay.
So many integrations are there. Suppose WebSphere, IBM WebSphere, and TIBCO and SOA, Oracle SOA. These many are there. Why you choose only MuleSoft? this type of question. Maybe.
Developer friendly. Simple answer. Okay, so if I'm giving it to some other technology, so they will take too much of nonsense. Yes. Okay, so they will more or less giving a higher time frames, and it is not. At least I feel it. So I have worked on some other integration tools. I can say that hey, this is the simplest tool. Okay, even sometimes I will try to say this is also a dumb tool. Okay, so I know where this particular uh, the setups are. Okay, but at least trust me, this is the simplest tool that you need to learn it easily, and even clients needs it. Okay, so they will have a lower pricing structure. Okay, it is a pay as you go, some kind of features that they are trying to do. So they are trying to add it a value adding each and every month. So if you are looking at your AnyPoint platform, you can sense it. So if you're working right now, so you will have some features. After 1 month, they are trying to add few more features. Okay. So it is just like, they are trying to add a value added, and that is for your clients. And as a developers, it is very easy to migrate or easy to learn. So this is the fundamental thing that most of the projects are coming. That is my perception. Okay, maybe because I'm not into a client's mind, but at least I can sense that. Okay.
And moreover, in any point platform, you could see so many services, right? Monitoring, visualizer, runtime manager, API manager.
Yes.
If you go with other technologies like TIPCO, so there, what will happen? For deployment, again, you need to buy a service. For monitoring, again, you need to buy a service. Okay, for everything, you have to pay extra amount. Okay, here you are getting all in one single plate. So this is the another reason you can say that's the
I think
okay.
Kishore, you are breaking up.
Is it breaking?
Yes.
Okay. So
All
what
right.
I'm saying is like in any point platform, we do have so many services, right? Like API manager, runtime manager, and all. But if for deployment, we will go with the runtime manager, right? But in TIPCO, what will happen? So for everything, we need to buy a different service. See, if I want to monitor, uh, if I want to see my logs and all everything, I need to buy a separate service. For that, again, I need to pay extra amount. So this is the one reason. And in Studio, we do have more than 360 components or connectors will be there. So by using these components or connectors, you can do it any kind of integration very easy. So this is the another reason. And in terms of cost also, license also, it will be less. Okay. Now they increased, but that is not our headache. Company and client will make that things. And as a developer perspective view, we can integrate any kind of applications easily, and everything will be available at one single place. So that's the reason Mule is more popular in the market. Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, sure. This is Nelu. Uh, Daily it is going to be this late because it is 12 p.m. Again, I had to wake up by 5:30.
I
So
told you
it's
right.
very difficult for me till 12 o'clock.
Yeah. Because we are in different time zones, right? This will happen like this.
Yeah, I
For you, it is
understand.
12. Helen and Bill, they are from someone from Australia. For them, it is 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So right now, we do not have any other timing. So what we will do tomorrow, we'll see like 9 to 10 exactly.
Okay,
Okay.
so we'll try to do
Yes.
this way, guys. Okay, so based upon the from tomorrow onwards, we are stick to whoever is enrolled. Okay, so uh, at that time, so we will try to take your opinions at what time you guys are comfortable. So I will try to take. See, yeah, even
Yeah.
you guys need to understand like the others aspects as well. So if someone is not comfortable, so your timing is not comfortable at this point. Okay, maybe few folks are trying to have a different time zones and they are strict to this particular 9 to 10 is more comfortable, then we need to stick to that. But at least I will try to take the people's opinion. Okay, don't worry about that. Right. Fine, guys. I'm ending the session now. Okay. Just a moment.
Okay, tomorrow what we'll do based on this requirement, we'll construct Raman. Okay.